We have breaking news now to report in Selma, where a person was shot at a 15-year-old's birthday party.
Here from Montgomery shows a neighborhood calm and empty Sunday, but just hours beforehand, people at a party here were running for their lives after gunfire erupted. Montgomery police say when they got to the neighborhood, they found 2 people with gunshot wounds running from the scene. Overall, 9 people were shot and 4 others were injured trying to run away.
Mobile police have arrested all 5 of these men you see right there in connection to a robbery that happened on Plum Street.
This Monarch Ridge apartment building bears the scars of what played out here Tuesday night. Hundreds of bullets went through the walls and windows into apartments, shattered car windows, and flattened tires.
Police investigating a shooting that left a 17-year-old dead and 2 others hurt in Bessemer on Dartmouth Avenue yesterday.
Police saw several cars speeding away from a scene on Skyline Drive. When they pulled one of the cars over, they found Trevino Burnett clinging to life after being shot. Burnett died at that scene.
Alabama, a state known for its rich history and Southern charm, also faces a sobering reality: some of the highest violent crime rates in the nation. From its largest city, Birmingham, to smaller communities like Bessemer, Anniston, and Selma, several Alabama cities routinely top national rankings for deletions, assaults, and gang-related violence. These urban centers often suffer from a mix of poverty, dwindling economic opportunity, and entrenched crime networks. While law enforcement and community leaders are actively pursuing solutions, from high-tech policing to grassroots intervention, many neighborhoods remain plagued by daily gunfire, drug activity, and fear. This report explores the state's most dangerous cities, examining where the violence is most concentrated and what is being done to stop it.
There have been 12 people killed in the city of Birmingham in the last week, including the mass shooting in 5 Points South.
The heartbreaking sound that followed a scene of violence Tuesday night. People gathered as police lights lit up the sky on 27th Street Southwest.
This is personal. This is a personal conflict.
Police are investigating if this is connected to a deadly shooting just hours before at Big Boy convenience store. You could see blood, shattered glass, and evidence markers outside. Police saying that, too, stemmed from an argument.
Continuing coverage tonight, it's been 19 months since 2 Birmingham firefighters were shot at Fire Station 9 in Norwood.
Interim Birmingham Police Chief Michael Pickett announced today the arrest of 22-year-old Damian McDaniel in that shooting. McDaniel's been charged with capital murder and the death of Jordan Mel. Shooting of Jamal Jones. McDaniel has already been charged in 2 mass shootings, and now police say he's charged in addition. The death of Mia Nixon in January of 2024 and the murder for hire death of a UPS worker, Anthony Love Jr., on April 9.
Here's a look at the timeline of these crimes. According to Birmingham police, 22-year-old Damian McDaniel of Bessemer is responsible for over 30% of the city's from July to September.
Deadly streak of crimes he's accused of started July 13th. It was at a venue ABC 3340 later discovered was unlicensed. 4 people were 10 others were injured at that birthday party event. Daniel was also indicted for capital murder again and burglary for an incident that happened a month later. Woods is also charged in that case. It involved a stolen vehicle, a man in an apartment, officers firing shots at the suspect, and a chase.
Very chaotic scene.
McDaniel is also accused of a 35-year-old woman. Police didn't believe she was the intended target when she was shot inside 604 bar on September 19. A few days later, 100 shots rang out on a Saturday night in 5 Points South, a popular nightlife spot. 4 people were 17 others were injured. Then 24 hours later, dozens of rounds went off in Eastlake, killing a man and injuring 2 others. McDaniel has already had his first court appearance for that. 4 others were also charged in connection to that incident.
This Monarch Ridge apartment building bears the scars of what played out here Tuesday night. Hundreds of bullets went through the walls and windows into apartments, shattered car windows, and flattened tires. In the hail of gunfire, 21-year-old Asia Poole was shot and killed. Her neighbors didn't want us to show their faces or use their names in fear of retaliation, but they say what started as a fistfight between Poole and another woman ended in what they describe as an ambush.
Birmingham, Alabama's largest city, remains the state's most dangerous urban center in terms of violent crime. With around 197,000 residents, it has a violent crime rate of 14.2 per 1,000, over 3 times the state average. In recent years, Birmingham has consistently recorded over 130 deletions annually, with 2024 seeing a deadly high of 149 deletions, the highest in decades. Much of the violence is concentrated in the West Precinct, especially neighborhoods like Ensley, West End, and Pratt City, where shootings are frequent. Areas such as Airport Highlands, South Pratt, and East Lake also report high rates of assaults, robberies, and gang activity. Ensley, in particular, has long been labeled one of Birmingham's most violent neighborhoods. Despite these grim statistics, some progress is being made. Community initiatives like Renew Birmingham and increased police surveillance have led to a 19% drop in deletions in some areas, including Ensley. New strategies include drone surveillance, partnerships with federal agents, and youth engagement programs, all aimed at reducing gun violence and gang influence.
Breaking tonight, 4 men are behind bars in Montgomery facing multiple charges in the shooting death of a teenager. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Valerie Lawson. The last of the 4 suspects arrested today. This is video provided by MPD, where 3 others were arrested.
New details are coming out on a mass shooting in Alabama that sent 13 people to the hospital. The video here from Montgomery shows a neighborhood calm and empty Sunday, but just hours beforehand, people at a party here were running for their lives after gunfire erupted. Montgomery police say when they got to the neighborhood, they found 2 people with gunshot wounds running from the scene. Overall, 9 people were shot and 4 others were injured trying to run away. According to the Montgomery advertiser, more than 1,000 people were at the party, and they also say that the shooting lasted for about 2 minutes, with some people believing the shots came from multiple weapons.
That has gone viral. Take a look at your screen right there. 3 men now charged after a brawl captured on camera along the riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama. It happened Saturday as police say a group of white men attacked a black dock worker. At a news conference, Montgomery's police chief Tuesday announcing assault charges against 3 men and said more charges here are expected.
It's about 2 men are arrested in a deadly shooting in the middle of busy Midtown Montgomery in broad daylight in the middle of the day. And today, we know their names. Trawick Smith and Rodriguez Humphrey are charged with capital accused of killing Rodriguez Harris Jr. while he was sitting in his car at a Zelda Road gas station.
A Montgomery woman is breaking her silence about a shooting that injured her son over the weekend.
It happened in the Gibbs Village section of West Montgomery. She says there needs to be more done in that part of town and elsewhere to better protect young people from violence.
Montgomery, the state capital, also struggles with violence, though at a slightly lower scale than Birmingham. With a population of roughly 200,000, the city has a violent crime rate of 10 to 11 per 1,000 residents. It typically sees 40 to 50 deletions per year, along with hundreds of assaults and one of the nation's highest rates of car thefts. Most violence occurs in northwest and southwest neighborhoods like Chisholm, Gibbs Village, and Highland Gardens. By contrast, eastern Montgomery is relatively safe. While police report a 10% drop in violent crime in 2023, non-fatal shootings have increased, highlighted by hospital data showing an average of 1 gunshot victim per day. Domestic violence and youth conflicts are major contributors to Montgomery's crime problem. The city's 2022 adoption of permitless carry laws has also complicated gun control efforts. In response, the city has launched conflict resolution programs, tech-based policing like license plate readers, and public health-style interventions involving clergy and social workers.
First tonight, a violent crime wave sweeping across Mobile. 15 people shot in just the last 5 days.
A gunfight near an elementary school today. A teenage boy found shot to death last night. All of that follows Friday's mass shooting in Theodore.
Our Natalie Williamson has your new reporting tonight. In this string of violence in Natalie, police have made some arrests.
Yes, they have, Lenise and Cameron. 2 people were booked just a few hours ago in connection to 2 shootings today. But several of these recent violent crimes remain unsolved. Tonight, families and friends are mourning the loss of loved ones while others are recovering from gunshot wounds following a string of shootings in Mobile in less than a week. 15 people shot, including many teenagers, in just 5 days.
Following multiple shootings in the Mobile area, the first happening on Dauphin Island Parkway near Maryvale Street. The second shooting happening a short time later on Somerville Street. Now, in that first shooting near Maryvale, police say a man was shot and taken to the hospital after the shooting happened near Maryvale Elementary School. Police believe the shots came from a passing car, and just moments ago we received some new details. Police telling us they believe there was some sort of altercation argument that turned physical, and we know tonight that a man is in jail, 40-year-old Demetrius Davis in the case.
Police have arrested all 5 of these men you see right there in connection to a robbery that happened on Plum Street. MPD tells Fox 10 News the men robbed another man at a home yesterday afternoon. Now, when police got there, they say a vehicle matching the description of the one that had left the scene was seen nearby driving it.
Some said a machine gun, others a shotgun. The only thing they do know is that they need police to track down this shooter.
Gunshots. A lot of gunshots.
In the middle of the rain and gloom, Mobile homicide detectives search for clues. Any answers into what happened in the Birdville community Tuesday morning.
Hope something can be done.
This empty field at Heron and Cardinal Drives is the site of a vicious homicide. Gunfire, a common sound in the area. We're told people have become so accustomed to the crime that when the shots rang out, only one person called 911.
Mobile, Alabama's primary port city with a population of around 185,000, has long struggled with high levels of violent crime. In 2021, the city was ranked the second most dangerous in the U.S., just behind St. Louis, based on FBI data analyzing crime rates and per capita costs of violence. That year, Mobile reported 51 deletions and consistently high rates of aggravated assaults and robberies, placing it above many other southern cities in terms of per capita violence. Neighborhoods like downtown and midtown, especially the entertainment district around Dauphin Street, have become known hotspots for assaults, while areas such as Orange Grove, Maysville, Tolmanville, and Birdsville suffer from persistent gang activity and gun violence. Nearby Pritchard, a smaller city directly north of Mobile, also contributes heavily to the region's crime statistics, given the overlapping police jurisdictions. Despite these challenges, Mobile has seen notable improvements in recent years. In 2022, the city reported double-digit declines in violent crimes, including significant reductions in homicides, burglaries, and robberies. Initiatives like Project Shield, which added surveillance cameras across high-crime areas, along with improved street lighting and targeted police patrols, have contributed to the downward trend. The Mobile Police Department's all-hands operations have led to hundreds of arrests in high-risk neighborhoods, and joint efforts with Pritchard Police have helped capture fugitives moving between jurisdictions. Community-based programs have also played a role, particularly in areas like Trinity Gardens and Campground, where neighborhood watch groups and youth outreach have reduced break-ins and provided alternatives to gang involvement. However, Mobile continues to face significant challenges. The city lies along the I-10 drug trafficking corridor, bringing a steady stream of transient crime tied to narcotics and gang operations. Socioeconomic issues, such as poverty, struggling schools, and neglected neighborhoods, also fuel criminal activity. Still, the city is working toward long-term solutions. Investments in police community relations, including monthly walking Wednesdays, where officers engage directly with residents, aim to build trust. In 2023, Mobile opened a new $5 million youth center as part of broader efforts to curb youth violence and gang recruitment. While Mobile's reputation as a dangerous city lingers, recent progress suggests that sustained community engagement, smarter policing, and infrastructure investment may slowly be turning the tide.
2 days after a robbery at this Kangaroo gas station in Bessemer, police released this footage showing a person with a gun entering the store that resulted in the death of a 27-year-old clerk.
And you see a family that's going to be without their loved one this time of year, and it's sad and it's callous, it's cold and it's hard.
Police describe the suspect as a black male, possibly 5'10" or less, with a medium build.
Good morning, Stephen and Jamie. Bessemer police are investigating 2 crime scenes this morning. This one on 21st Street, and then the other is on 19th Street. Now, the one on 21st Street is where a home invasion took place, and then on 19th Street, that's where 2 18-year-old males were found shot. Now, whether the scenes are connected or not is still undetermined.
Price says 2 masked men with guns came in Wednesday.
I'm like, you for real, man? What you say? He said, man, give it up, give it up. I'm like, give what up? I said to myself, I said, if I don't give him anything, he might still shoot me. So my customer ended up giving his money up. And I gave money up, Joe gave up his wallet. We had our hands up, and they just kind of like eased on out the door.
That's when Price says his military training kicked in, and he followed them outside with his own gun.
I hit the driver's side of the window about 3 or 4 times.
Price says after he fired the shots, someone shot back, leaving this bullet hole in the wall of his barbershop. Bessemer police say they stopped a car on 5920 and 3 suspects ran off before officers arrested.
All right, that time of the morning again.
Yeah, here's a look at the stories you need to know before you go this morning. Police investigating a shooting that left a 17-year-old dead and 2 others hurt in Bessemer on Dartmouth Avenue.
2 shootings took place over this weekend in Bessemer. 3 died in the first and 3 others seriously injured in the second.
3 people died following a shooting Friday night at a Citgo gas station on 4th Avenue North. Bessemer police say at least 2 of the victims were together when someone inside a vehicle shot at them. Police say the shooters then got out of their car and continued shooting inside the store. Now, 20-year-old Rakeem Cunningham is charged with capital. Sunday night shooting injured 3 people, 2 of whom suffered life-threatening injuries. Police tell us they were shot while sitting in a parked car.
Bessemer, a city of roughly 26,000 located southwest of Birmingham, is often ranked among the most dangerous cities in Alabama, and at times, the entire United States. One FBI data analysis placed its violent crime rate at 33.1 per 1,000 residents, giving individuals a 1 in 30 chance of becoming a victim annually. When property crimes are included, the overall crime rate jumps to 102 per 1,000, meaning nearly 1 in 10 residents are affected each year. Much of Bessemer's violence stems from economic decline following the collapse of its steel industry. Drug trade and gang activity thrive in this vacuum, with aggravated assaults, robberies, and shootings being commonplace. Particularly dangerous areas include parts of the south side near Dartmouth Avenue. The city has attempted to respond, demolishing abandoned homes used by dealers and recovering over 140 stolen firearms through task force efforts. But Bessemer remains a hotspot for violent crime, with some crime indices ranking it safer than 0% of U.S. cities.
Gladys, witnesses describe a chaotic scene after shots rang out here at the Walmart today. Terrified shoppers running for safety, unsure which direction the shots were even coming from. Anniston police say shots were fired outside the store and in the entrance doorway of this Walmart on McClellan Boulevard. They say this all stemmed from a fight between 2 parties that police believe know each other.
This was at a home in the 1400 block of Morrisville Road here in Anniston. Police say that man had a knife standing in the driveway, and he was actually hurting himself. He had cut himself with a knife. Police say that they couldn't get him to drop it. They told him to drop it, so they tased him once. They say that didn't stop him. He actually held onto the knife and this time came at officers. Police say one of their officers fired 1 shot at the man. They hit him in the stomach. They say he then turned the knife on himself again. He started stabbing himself, and police say they tased him until they could get that knife away from him and then get him to the hospital.
Anniston Police Chief Shane Denham said his officers responded within minutes to a report of an active shooter inside Lowe's on McClellan Boulevard around 9:15 this morning. The store customers and employees were evacuated, and police engaged the man, whom they've identified as Stephen Spoon, an employee who worked in human resources at Lowe's. Over the course of the incident, they say Spoon shut himself up inside his office at the store and negotiations with him began, but they were unsuccessful.
This is video provided by the Anniston Star showing the scene outside of the Samco gas station yesterday evening. Police Chief Shane Denham tells us it's early in the investigation, but drugs may be involved. 22-year-old Zondrick Foster was killed. Another man was shot in the head, and he's being treated at UAB Hospital. If you have any information, please call Anniston Police at 256-240-4000.
Investigation Division spokesperson confirmed that a significant number of pistols were reported missing from the civilian marksmanship program in Anniston. To be more specific, there's 98 pistols unaccounted for.
Anniston police looking for a man and woman believed to be armed and dangerous. Just after 10 this morning, police saw several cars speeding away from a scene on Skyline Drive. When they pulled one of the cars over, they found Trevino Burnett clinging to life after being shot. Burnett died at that scene.
Anniston, located in eastern Alabama with a population around 21,000, also ranks high for violent crime per capita. In fact, some national reports have labeled it the most violent city in the country. The city's violent crime rate hovers around 8.7 per 1,000 residents, with aggravated assaults and homicides driving the statistics. In one study, Anniston posted a deletion rate of 47.6 per 100,000, far above the national average. Much of the crime is linked to Anniston's location along I-20, a major drug trafficking corridor, and its economic hardships following the decline of military and manufacturing industries. The drug trade, in particular, fuels local violence. Still, there have been modest improvements. Community policing helped reduce violent crime in some neighborhoods by 15%, and safety enhancements in the downtown area, including cameras and lighting, have helped reduce theft. Despite these gains, Anniston's reputation for gang activity and gun violence continues to overshadow its recovery efforts.
One update to breaking news out of Selma we brought you earlier. Police officer Marquise Moore has been killed. Another person also injured. Here's what we can tell you. Officer Moore went home to his apartment complex this morning where he was shot. We're told the other person is the officer's significant other.
Breaking news now to report in Selma, where a person was shot at a 15-year-old's birthday party. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on the scene as police responded to the Richard B. Harrison Gymnasium.
Now in Johnston County, police are investigating a deadly overnight shooting happened in Selma on South Rayford Street, not far from downtown. The shooting was at about 10:30 last night.
A man is behind bars for a shooting this week that left 2 people dead and a 3rd person injured. Michael Luttrell Brown is now facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of capital. The shooting happened late Sunday night at a home on Cummings Circle, just off of Highway 80 in Selma. A man and woman, both dead, both around 24 years old.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Johnston County as Selma police investigate a deadly shooting. Take a look at the video we have of the scene where officers responded to a shooting outside the Diamond District Lounge just after 2 this morning. The lounge is located near Pollock Street, and that's where they located someone who died on the way to the hospital.
Police tell us that the shooting happened at a house right here down the street along South Rayford Street. Right now, we are still working to learn more about the victim and also if any arrests have been made. But I did talk to one neighbor out here, a couple of neighbors actually, but one neighbor told me, to be specific, she heard those gunshots.
Selma, the historic city in Alabama's Black Belt with a population of about 17,000, also ranks among the state's most violent communities. While known for its role in the civil rights movement, Selma faces modern struggles marked by poverty, population decline, and alarming crime rates. The city's violent crime rate is near 10 per 1,000 residents, and its per capita homicide rate has, at times, ranked among the highest nationwide. Selma typically sees 10 to 20 deletions per year, a staggering number given its small size. Gun violence, often involving teenagers and repeat offenders, remains the city's most pressing threat. Initiatives like Weed and Seed federal grants helped reduce gang activity in the late 2010s, but gains were short-lived. Blighted areas with abandoned buildings continue to provide cover for crime, though targeted demolitions have resulted in measurable drops in burglary and violent incidents. Local leaders express concern that persistent crime undermines Selma's legacy and discourages much-needed investment and tourism. Violent crime in Alabama is not confined to one region or city. It is a statewide challenge deeply rooted in economic instability, drug trafficking corridors, and generational cycles of poverty and neglect. Cities like Birmingham and Mobile continue to battle rising deletion rates, while smaller towns like Bessemer, Anniston, and Selma face equally severe struggles, often with fewer resources. Yet, amid the headlines and grim statistics, there are signs of resilience. Community-led programs, increased policing efforts, and investment in youth outreach have made incremental progress in some of the hardest-hit areas. Still, lasting change will require more than enforcement. It demands strategic investment in education, economic revitalization, and public health. Until then, many Alabama cities will remain on edge, fighting not just crime, but the conditions that allow it to thrive.